Well, I hope that you do lose the bet as well, because I've been involved in a few TV productions. One of them.
This way, Alex, if it doesn't see the light of day, this show that we've completed, then I need to come back on your show, and we need to ask why. We need to, at that point, start addressing, I believe, the First Amendment.
I agree with you. Well, I don't see how they're going to air something that's more than fair from our perspective. And from what I've seen, and I know you're an honorable person, this is a extremely fair, leaning towards our perspective, because, as you said, you couldn't get the other side to come out and debate. There's nothing but stonewalling.
It isn't even a debate, Alex. We couldn't even get them to come out and make a comment. The government wouldn't talk to us, plain and simple. They wouldn't talk on HARP. They wouldn't talk on 9/11. They wouldn't talk on anything that involved the government and their involvement in any type of conspiracy or whatever the conspiracy is. You cannot get anyone from government to participate or talk in any manner. It's that simple. And people need to understand that's the scary thing, overwhelmingly scary thing about doing this whole show, is the fact that government doesn't have to cooperate. They act like we work for them. And I believe they've forgotten something, and we've forgotten something. They work for us. That's the way it's supposed to be. But in this country, I believe those roles have switched now, and the government views us working for them rather than the way it's supposed to be.
Well, that's just an incredible point, that things really are backwards now in this nation, in this country. And if they do allow this to go on television, which it looks like it's going to happen, is that the system is so arrogant that they don't even care if we know the truth now? I'm seeing George Soros and Al Gore and Ban Ki-moon of the UN openly say we're going under world government, openly saying it's a new world order, openly stating it's about population reduction, one-child policy. LA Times reports there's going to be a tax on owning a dog or cat because they eat meat, which has a carbon footprint. You've got the global warming episode. We're going to talk about that. I mean, they're really coming out in the open. So is it that they don't have total control of the media, and so you're getting through the chink in the armor, or is it they're so arrogant now they don't care if Governor Ventura goes out and tells you how screwed you are? They might even sit back and, roast some marshmallows and laugh at us.
I don't know, Alex. I'm not in contact with any of these quote-unquote people, so I have no idea. Oh, by the way, yeah, global warming is the last one that I list to you of the is global warming a conspiracy?
Yeah, we were both here trying to remember all 7 episodes, and finally it came to me, so I thought I'd shout it out.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Well, you got it right there, because that was the 7th one that, like I said, when I shot these things, they were not in sequence always, and so it can get pretty confusing. It was a lot like governing, where you go from one meeting 1 hour to a completely different meeting the next hour.
No, I know it makes your head spin, especially when you're really into the minutia. Let's get into 2012, then we'll get into secret societies, Manchurian Candidate, Big Brother, and global warming. 2012, obviously 3 days from now, on Friday, the huge movie is coming out where Woody Harrelson kind of plays the conspiracy theory type. I know Harrelson, so we're trying to get him on the show. In fact, that may happen. But what's your whole take on the real 2012 and the serious, in-depth research you did? And then separately in the show, I know you get into, without saying too much, whether it's real or not, the elite think it's real, and they are getting ready. I mean, to me, I think, in fact, I wish I was in that episode. I've been told I'm not. To me, that's going to be one of the hottest episodes.
Well, it is, and let me just put it this way, and again, I'm not going to go in and make it so people won't watch by telling everything that happens, but it goes far beyond, let me say this, the Mayan calendar. Now, the Mayans were very intelligent people, way ahead of their time when it came to understanding the planets and the solar system and the heavens. They truly were, because I've learned this. Even with all of our modern technology today, the Mayans are right on. Our technology, for the most part, cannot prove them wrong under most things. So here you had a culture that took place many, many, many years ago that was very, very bright when it came to space. And this 2012 show goes beyond the Mayan calendar. It goes to some things that we know are actually real and completely backed up by NASA. And that's where I'll leave it right there, because I want people intrigued. I want them to watch the show, and the show will be on long before 2012 arrives.
Are you, knowing what you now know, doing the deep research, are you concerned about 2012?
I'm concerned, I'm concerned over things that I have learned. Yes, I'm very concerned over them. And when later on, when the shows all air, Alex, and I don't have to try to intrigue a listening audience anymore, I'll be glad to come back on the show and openly talk about what concerns me after it airs.
Absolutely. That'd be a great radio interview. And also talk about how much hit the cutting room floor. You guys have done a ton of work. I mean, they've been working your butt off.
Well, I've been here. I'm trying to. You know how it works in the country, Alex? When you try to retire and quit, that's when your agent finds your jobs. When you're looking for the jobs for 20 years, they can't find you anything. No, I've been to L.A. so many times I can't remember since summer. I've been to Anchorage, Alaska. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to Oklahoma City, Kansas City, New York multiple times, and I've lost track of few of the other places that I've been to. But the most unique was the thing going up to Anchorage to learn about HAARP.
Absolutely. And again, I'm Huggy Bear.
Let me interject, Alex, of which up until about 4 months ago, I didn't even know what HAARP was. Didn't even know what it was.
This has been quite a journey for you. I know your son began to really get you into this 5-6 years ago. And obviously I gave you some films, and that helped you along your journey. And then you described it to me at the hotel that now it's like the top of your head's blown off. The whole world's opening up, and it's quite a journey, isn't it, Governor?
Well, it sure is, and the exciting thing that I'll tell people when people say to me, why do I like to study this, why do I like to look at it, because these are things that very well can be real. And when you read a writer like, say, Tom Clancy or Vince Flynn, they're marvelous books, but they're simply figments of their imagination. They're carrying you through on their imaginary trip. I would rather look into and read about real history and hopefully get educated on it so that we're not stupid enough to allow ourselves to repeat it, which over and over I see it happening. Our stupidity is just unbelievable how we can be duped over and over again.
Absolutely. I mean, really, a conspiracy theorist is someone with an alternative history view. We'll be right back.
Much so.
This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Ecola Blue.
Big John.
Big Jesse Ventura is our guest. Governor, one more time for people tuning in, getting this exclusive first look at the TV show that, believe me, is going to be powerful, folks. Tell them when the 7 episodes are going to air, how they tune in, how they watch it.
Well, it'll be on the True Network, which used to be Court Television. It's located, if you got the satellite, I think it's right in between TBS and TNT. It's the station in between if you're on the direct dish satellite or whatever it is. But check wherever. And anyway, the first show will air Wednesday, December 2nd, and it'll be 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And it's a 1-hour show. We're doing 7 conspiracies, and naturally, I'd like to say this: can we get completely into the conspiracies and everything about them? Absolutely not. You can never do that in an hour. So we focus on just certain portions of the conspiracy, which I think people will find it, especially your listening audience, Alex, are going to find it very interesting.
And so it's going to be airing every Wednesday in December and January, or are they going to skip one on Christmas?
I have no idea.
Christmas.
I'll be gone surfing at that time, and I'll leave all of you up here to take the repercussions from it.
What are you going to do if I come parachuting in when you're out there surfing?
Well, and I'll know everything hit the fan up here, because I know that if you're not doing your daily radio show, then the United States don't exist anymore.
Now, is my bunker ready next to your bungalow?
I don't know. I'll tell you that Baja, my neighbor Fernando, he had to dig a 40-foot well down there, and it took him 6 months, but it would have taken him a year had there been good waves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to come back and take phone calls, but right now let's get into the global warming episode.
Okay.
I mean, just give us a little taste of that.
Well, the big thing on global warming to me is this cap and trade legislation. It's nothing but bait and switch. It's a legislation that's designed to make money, not to solve the problem. And if global warming is indeed a problem, then why is the solution simply money-making that does nothing to address the actual problem? And that's the key of what we try to expose in this is the cap and trade legislation for what it is, and the fact that there are 30,000 people with PhDs and science degrees that simply are not buying into global warming, and it doesn't seem to be that they get any type of their opinion is not being aired at all.